Ladies and gentlemen, Overwatch now has an official beer. That's right, it's got beer. It's a really strong beer, so you got to be really careful. If you drink this, you are going to get absolutely wasted. It's Bud Light. I don't think you can even buy Bud Light in Europe because it's so bad. Actually, I don't think it's that weak. I think it's like 5%, so it's not too bad, but it just tastes like tap water. We call tap water where I come from council pop because it's just the stuff the council give you out of your tap. Council's the local governance, and pop is like soft drink. Let's get on with the video. All right, guys, so let's get stuck into this. There's an official beer sponsor for the Overwatch League. Now, this is pretty... I mean, it's come out of nowhere. Like, you wouldn't really expect Overwatch League to have a beer sponsor because, I mean, it's shown on Disney and whatever. But let's be real. Like, the average age of the Overwatch League viewer is probably 18 and above. And in most countries, you can drink at 18. I know in the UK, legally it's 18. But, I mean, I used to drink White Lightning when I was 12 down the park. That was cheap cider. That's a very in UK joke there, ladies and gentlemen. But what I'm saying is, like, alcohol is like whatever. Who cares? Like, your parents will be responsible. I'm sure they will, and it's all fine. But anyway, it comes out of the blue. This is the announcement, and it says Dilly Dilly Bud Light. Now, this gives me flashbacks to that horrifically bad Budweiser advert, which I believe I've seen on UK television around Christmas, where it's like this terrible caricature of a British court from like the medieval times, and the guy's like dilly 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 dilly, and I just want to slap him. But yeah, so they've partnered up, and it is now the official beer of the Overwatch League. However, there are some restrictions because this isn't just straight up the beer that's going to be advertised absolutely everywhere. Oh no, ladies and gentlemen, it is the official beer everywhere apart from China. And apparently, the brand has become, this is according to the Esports Observer, the title sponsor for the renamed Bud Light Homestand Weekend hosted by the Dallas Fuel. So some sort of a big cash money deal has been done, and now they've got a beer sponsor. Now the thing is with this is like, I guess most major sports have got an alcohol sponsor, so I don't really see this as a particularly bad thing. I mean, I know that in the UK there's a beer called Spitfire, so I mean, if we can get that as the sponsor for the Spitfire team, that'll be juicy. I mean, I'll take that. That'll be beautiful. But yeah, we've got more news, ladies and gentlemen, so let's crack on with it. All right, so we've got the All-Star Weekend skins have finally been confirmed. Now, this was leaked a while ago. Yeah, I mean, I put a tweet out on Twitter and it went absolutely crazy. Actually made a video on it as well. But these are now the official, well, it's made official. So you've got Atlantic Mercy and you've got the Pacific Lucio. This actually is a really nice sort of render that Blizzard have done. And it shows you the skins in an action pose. And it's really cool. These skins look really nice. That Mercy skin is honestly incredible. I mean, the Lucio skin is fantastic as well. But the Mercy skin for me is just on like another level. Like Mercy always seems to have like completely ludicrous skins when it comes down to it, and well, I can't really complain about that. They look awesome. So there is also some details on what this actually is. So the All Stars Weekend, now this is on May the 15th till May the 16th, and well, it's at the Blizzard Arena. Tickets are available now. You will earn ×2 League tokens. So for fans who can't ever get enough League tokens, we're happy to announce that during the All-Stars event, we're doubling the number of tokens earned each hour. Instead of earning 3 tokens for each hour of live Overwatch League matches you watch, well, you'll earn 6, and random 100 token drops will be unchanged. I think I've got a few of them in the past, to be honest, although I do tend to watch a lot of Overwatch League like sort of on my other monitor while I'm doing work, and then I fall asleep because most of the games are at like stupid o'clock in the UK, so they're completely unwatchable. But there you go, whatever. Yeah, so you can also vote as well based on what game mode you want to see. So you've got the All-Star Arcade, the Talent Takedown, which I believe is generally the broadcast talent. So people like Zoe, Bren, Sideshow, those guys get together and play games. You've got the Widowmaker 1v1, which I think was the highlight, to be honest, of last year's event. The difference with this as well is it happens in the middle of the season. It doesn't happen at the end of the season, which is how it happened last year. So I think it happened just before the grand final. So this actually kind of breaks it up. And I think this is better. So there's actually a bunch of arcade modes that you can choose. So it says, on April 26th, visit the official Overwatch League Twitter account to vote for the game modes you'd most like to see played in All-Star Arcade. You've got Thanks But No Tanks. This is 6v6 with no tanks, 1 hero limit, and it's on Blizzard World. You've got Keeping the Peace. This is 6v6 McCree only on Route 66. Healers Never Die. 6v6 supports only, 1 hero limit on Nepal. Terrible, terrible damage, which is a Blizzard in joke from a very long time ago. One of the casters screamed terrible, terrible damage, I believe, in a... was it a StarCraft 2 game? Yeah, it might have been a StarCraft 2 game. Terrible, terrible damage. I think it is. So anyway, I'm sure it was a caster who screamed terrible, terrible damage. Or maybe it was... No, I'm pretty sure it was a caster. Anyway, you guys will correct me on that in the comments, but no doubt people are going mental like Sty. You've got it wrong, you goddamn idiot. But yeah, this is 6v6 damage-only heroes, and it's just one hero limit on Hollywood. Okay. Heavy Metal, 6v6 tanks only on Blizzard World. New Blood, 6v6 post-release heroes only. Sibling Rivalry, 3 Genjis and 3 Hanzos per team. Or lockout elimination. So these are okay, right? What I think they should do with this, though, is use the workshop, because the workshop is way better. Like, get them playing Diva Sumo Wrestling. That's crazy, you know? Or get them playing on the Gauntlet. The Gauntlet mode is amazing. Get stuck into that. So yeah, All-Star games are coming back, and this is what we know about them so far. And of course, those skins are amazing. Alrighty ho, so well, I guess finally we've got the Overwatch World Cup. So it is confirmed to be back for 2019. However, there are some pretty major changes to this. Now remember the World Cup in 2016, in 2017, actually in 2018. 2016 was a bit different, but in 17 and 18, they had regional playoffs. So it would be based on where your team was in the overall SR of Overwatch. So the UK, I think, was actually like stupidly high. We'd be like 3rd or 4th or something in the world. China would be number 1, Korea, USA, I think, and then it would be like UK, Canada, you know, and kind of go through like regions like that. However, this time it's a bit different, and it's a bit weird. So you do not get the regional stages. So you won't get the Paris stage. You won't get like any of the other stages that we had last year, which honestly I think are really good. And I was kind of looking forward to a UK stage this year, but it's not going to happen. So instead what's going to happen is this is all going to go down the week before and during BlizzCon. So it's going to be one big, massive tournament. But there are some crucial differences which I want to highlight in this video. And in fact, guys, this is probably going to be something we'll do a video on later on and do a bit more, kind of go into a bit more in depth on this, because it's actually, there are some major pros to this and there are some major cons as well. So this is what's happening in 2019. But as I say, we're making some changes this year to create the chance of seeing more nations represented at BlizzCon. We're happy to announce a tournament structure that will offer opportunities for all eligible countries to form teams to challenge for their right to play the on-site group stage. This year, the entire tournament will take place in Anaheim, all within 1 week of competitive celebration, which will be broadcast live to platforms around the world. So basically on, you know, Twitch and whatnot, and all of the other types of live stream stuff that we don't really see in the West, because, you know, generally like Chinese platforms and stuff like that. Anyway, this is the way it works. Number 1, you've got all the teams. Number 2, you go into the preliminaries. You've got the top 5 ranked teams. They receive a bye, so they go straight into the group stage. But there's an open single elimination bracket. Then in the group stage, which is progression point 3, you've got the top 3 teams per group advance, and then 4 is the playoffs. Now the playoffs are what will happen during BlizzCon itself. So BlizzCon's a 2-day event. Bang, bang, you'll get both of those. You'll get the first stage and then the finals. Now, what's really weird about this is there is a different type of ranking system that they are using. So what this does is it basically adds up the points that you've earned from previous World Cups, and it's more weighted towards recent performances. So what's going to happen is there is a point given for each kind of stage of the tournament you've got to. So if you are a team that has got to the finals, that has got to the regional finals, then got through to BlizzCon, you will have earned a lot of points. And the top 10 teams, Blizzard will pay for your travel and they will pay for your accommodation. So Blizzard effectively pay for everything to get you to the event. However, this is what we think. Now, this is based on a bit of Reddit calculation, which is going down, the way the rankings are going to work so far. So South Korea obviously are at the top because they've won every World Cup. So clearly they've got like so many points. It's just a joke. They will always be in the competition. Then you're going to have France, USA, China, Canada, Australia, UK, Finland, Sweden, Russia. Now that's the top 10. Now we go on from that and you've got like, well, Spain, Germany, Thailand, and there's all these other countries, right? But if you're not in the top 10 of the rankings, now these are just, this is what people have speculated on Reddit based off the calculation system Blizzard has given us. This isn't actually what Blizzard have said. Blizzard will come out with this information, I'm sure, like in a couple of weeks' time. But the top 10 teams are looked after. This is where it gets really funky because anybody outside of the top 10 can go to BlizzCon. So if you are Madagascar, you can say, okay, we're going to go to BlizzCon, right? Now, Madagascar, not the most internet-connected place there is, so your team's probably not going to be very good. You can go to BlizzCon, though, if you like. However, you have to pay for everything yourself. Blizzard say they will give you some assistance, but they don't say what that is. Now, I've got to be real here, guys. The cost of taking an Overwatch team, especially a World Cup team, to BlizzCon for a week during Anaheim convention season when BlizzCon's on is going to be massively expensive. Just take it from a European perspective. You need plane tickets, so you'd have to fly from, let's just say you fly from, let's say Germany. Actually, let's use Germany as an example, because I think Germany will be outside of the top 10, which means that Germany will not be able to get, Blizzard just won't pay to get them there, which is a bit strange, right? So what they'd have to do is get flights. Now, flights there and back from, let's say, Frankfurt to LAX airport, that's probably going to be $700 a ticket. Now, there are 7 players, a GM, a community lead, and a coach. So that's actually 10 people, right? So you'd need 10 tickets. If there was $700, that's $7,000. This is getting really expensive already, right? Then you need accommodation. Now remember, this is at the height of the convention season, so the rooms will be incredibly expensive, probably the same again. So let's say $14,000 now, might even be more. Then you need food while you're there, right? So it's just, honestly, this is such an incredible cost that I don't think anybody outside of the top 10 is actually going to be able to make this. And it kind of makes me sad, right? Because you've got countries out there like Ireland, for example. They've got a really good scene, but they don't actually, how are they going to, where are they going to get the money from? It's a bit of a slap in the face, isn't it? Considering it's a World Cup and it's not really, it's just the top 10 teams that Blizzard decided to be the top 10 teams. And the big kick in the face is the teams that are in the top 10 will always be in the top 10 because it's based on your appearances at BlizzCon. So if you're in the top 10, you go to BlizzCon, and then you'll be in the top 10 again and again and again. You see where I'm going with this? So it's going to be really hard for a country that's on the sort of the periphery, like a Germany or like a Thailand, to get back into the World Cup because they're going to have to literally spend tons of money to get to BlizzCon. It's insane. All right, guys, I just wanted to throw that out there because it is a little bit complicated right now. Also, there's obviously all the voting stuff will happen as well, where you're going to have your vote for your GM, and I was the GM for the UK team last year, the community lead, the coach, and all of that stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to throw it out there and see what you guys think. All right, guys, I've been Stylosa, this unit loss. It's been a news update for Overwatch. A lot of stuff going on, actually, and it's a pretty good time, to be fair, for Overwatch. There was also a bit of a lore tease as well, which I kind of haven't really covered in this video. It was a little bit of a archive update, which I'm not going to put it in this video, but essentially it was just Maximilian saying where Doomfist is, and then Michael Chu, as he often does on Twitter, because the lore doesn't make any sense, so he has to tweet out, so it makes sense. It says, oh, actually, if you listen to this tidbit and then go and watch the Doomfist origin story, that's in Singapore, and that's what this is all about, and that's the end of that. So, yeah. All right, guys, on that bombshell, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Toodaloo.